Stefan Rind. So yeah, I'm back in real estate. So I was starting a company, Colonial Real Estate, back in 2003 in Germany, which then in 2007 was the third largest listed residential real estate company in Germany. We also managed about 3.5 billion in commercial assets for large private equity players who entered the German market at the time. Blackstone, UBS, JP Morgan. Then went to crisis, everybody's aware of, then went back to profitability in 2010, and then the company was bought over in a public a takeover bid by TAG. So that was the time when I left real estate for 4 years and went to something different, environmental technology. So coming back in the last 6 months, I was looking at a couple of interesting companies at the time, and clearly my background is residential real estate. And so I was particularly interested in Deutsche Real Estate Fund, which I joined as an investor, shareholder, and now as chairman of the advisory board. It's the largest platform for student housing in Germany, which, you know, looking at the market overall, I thought residential is in a kind of consolidation merger, especially on the public company side. But student housing I found was very interesting. It has a little pioneer feeling, as residential was overall in Germany back in 2003 and 2004. So I joined the company there, and we're kind of growing the company now to become an even bigger platform for student housing and micro-living in Germany.
So we're not involved in placing money, advising on where money should go, forecasting. What we do is provide diagnostics to help people understand where their performance is coming from. So it's a management tool. And we work across thousands of portfolios around the world. One particular thing we're working on right now, and just today, we're launching our awards for European real estate performance over the last 3 years. And these are significant awards. They're not a beauty parade. They're not given according to the quality of the submission. They're based on real estate performance over 3 consecutive years. So the best performing funds in each market in 10 countries around Europe in terms of balanced funds and specialist funds. And what we're doing there is identifying the winners. And it's incredibly hard to be a consistent outperformer. Maybe one of the themes we'll come back to in terms of where the market's going. Part of that outperformance is having a great view from Stefan and Marcus, having a strategic view about markets. But it's also about integrating that in the decision-making process, in portfolio management, in asset management, in being very good property-specific asset managers. It's that combination that delivers good performance. It's not about market calls on its own. It's not about property-specific on its own. It's about integrating it all together. And so I suppose those awards, we're very pleased to congratulate those teams because they are the leaders over that 3-year period. We can talk more about that maybe in the discussion.
Okay, great. Stefan.
So at Tier Real Estate, currently we do what everyone else is doing. We have been investing in Southern Europe to take advantage of relatively high yields, but we also do investments in the UK and Germany, knowing that the returns going forward are quite muted, but we have a large investor base, it's insurance companies, pension funds, which have requirements for income return and relatively low risk, so they need these sort of investments. We also are in the process of launching a new fund, which is called the European Cities Fund, because we think in the past European funds have been too much focused on countries, and as we have seen from Marcus' presentations, the demographic change in Europe is going to be quite pronounced, so the returns or also the performance of cities is going to be quite different depending where you are in a country. It's more important to say in which city to invest than saying you're investing in a specific country.
Great, good. I can assure you that I believe it's my fault for not turning that on originally, but all of the other ones are working. So
it's definitely working, is it?
That's definitely working, but so are those other ones. So you can now take one each almost.
Okay. Yeah, Will Rowson from Hodes as well. We do a range of things. Bit of advisory work. That's advising on funds, end of fund life, M&A. So a mixture on the advisory side. I've been in this building a few times recently, and to the extent where the guy that took my bag this morning asked me how I was this week, so maybe I ought to go in disguise in future. We've also been the engine of the company is really capital raising. So we're capital raising around the world, from Peru literally to Japan. So a real combination. And then we've got a sister business that we recently launched called Tunbridge, which has been set up and raised capital in the US to invest in general partner platforms around the world, so taking minority stakes in platforms. So it's kind of a slightly different view on the market, but we have an interesting information flow, let's put it that way.
Great.
Yeah, last, PATRIZIA, we are, let's say, a pan-European asset manager focusing on, not really on residential or commercial. Historically, we've been a residential company, but the last 3-4 years saw us now emerging to a general residential player with about a split 50-50 between residential and commercial. And especially on the UK, we've acquired a larger portfolio of business parks in the last 2 years. We are heavily investing or working on some aspects of the PRS sector and also some other different aspects of UK prospects where we think interesting pricing can be achieved. It's also a little bit about what Stefan told about the story about cities, and not so much about the assets itself. It's more about the story of the location where we think we can drive some value due to the capabilities we have coming also from the development and asset management side.